Hey everybody, today we're going to show you how to find all 53 Korok seeds here in the Tabantha frontier in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Our first seed is going to be found just southwest of Nero Hill. If you come right over here to this exact location, you're going to find a little divot, and in that divot is going to be a giant boulder. Go ahead and use Ultra Hand to pick up that boulder, and our little wooden stand is going to be right up here on the edge. Drop that boulder into place. Once you do, the Korok will pop up and you'll get seed number 1. Number 2 is going to be found just south of the Giza crater. On your map, you're going to see 4 big trees right here together. You want to go to the tree in the top left, and there's going to be red arrows at each tree pointing towards that one in the back corner. So once you make it back here, just climb up to the top. Once you get up here, a little cluster of leaves will spawn, and when you interact with those, you'll get seed number 2. Number 3 is going to be found a little bit further south from where we got our last seed, and you can actually see on the edge of the map here, you're going to have a dotted line that kind of goes downward. This is going to be 4 statues on the edge of the map, and for this we're going to use spicy peppers. There's already going to be one on the far left and the far right, so we just need to drop a spicy pepper in the middle 2 plates, and once all 4 peppers are there, the Korok will pop up and you'll get seed number 3. Number 4 is going to be found just northwest of the Rain Highlands. You can actually see on your map there's this weird little thing. This is where you want to come to. It's actually a column, and it's going to take a little bit of stamina to get to the top of this thing, so make sure you have a lot of stamina before you attempt going up here. If you don't, you can just fly down here from the mountain beside you. But once you get to the top, there's going to be a little piece of wood you can walk on that's going to spawn a target. From that wood, jump off, and we just need to land on the target without touching the ground. And if you successfully do so, you'll get seed number 4. Number 5 is going to be found on the western side of the Tanager Canyon. If you see exactly where we're at on the map here, you want to come up on this ledge. And once you're up here, you're going to find a puzzle. The piece will be back over here in this corner. And we have a giant X. You're going to need to rotate this thing a good while, and I'll show you the whole time. This is a little confusing, and I don't know how to explain it without just showing to you. But rotate this thing around to fit on the bottom left side of the X. You guys can see right here is exactly what it's going to look like. And once you have it rotated like this, you can fit it onto the bottom left of that X, and you'll get seed number 5. Number 6 is going to be found on the eastern side of the Rain Highlands. You guys can see we're going to come right up here on this mountain, and you're going to find a bunch of columns. Our first flower is going to be on the column that has another broken column leaning against it. Once you grab this, we'll jump to the other one right here in front of us. The third flower is going to be at the 2 columns that are way over here. So just fly over this way and you'll be able to grab this one and the next one on top. The next flower is going to be further back over here near these ruins on this column. And as soon as you climb up to the top of this one and grab this one, look to your right. We don't need to go left. When you look to your right, the next one will spawn up here. You can grab this one. The next one's going to spawn on the ruins in front of us, so you can jump down to these little ruins. And then our final 3 flowers will be on these 3 columns right here in front of us. So we can climb up to the top, grab this one, jump across, grab one on the second column, and then our third and final flower on these columns is going to be in the back. Go ahead and pick all those up and you'll get seed number 6. Number 7 is also going to be on the eastern side of the Rain Highlands. You guys will see we're on the edge of the mountain right here. And if you come over to the cliff and look down, you'll see we have a puzzle on this little ledge down here. This one's a lot easier to solve. Go ahead and pick this thing up and rotate it around to look just like this. And once it looks like this, you can drop this thing right here in the middle. It'll lock in, the Korok will pop up, and you'll get seed number 7. Number 8 is going to be on top of the giant rocks along the main path in between the Rain Highlands and the Piper Ridge. You guys can see our location. And once you're up here, just work your way over to the ruins. Inside are going to be a pile of leaves. Take those out and pick up the small rock underneath, and you'll get seed number 8. Number 9 is going to be found in the same spot as our last seed, except this time, instead of being on top of the giant rocks, we're going to be on the bottom. And if you look up at them, you'll see in the little archway here, there's going to be a balloon floating up where they connect. Hit that balloon with an arrow and you'll get seed number 9. Number 10 can be found on the western side of the Tabantha Great Bridge. All you want to do is work your way up to the edge of the bridge here. And if you look over the cliffside underneath the bridge is going to be a little hidden balloon. Go ahead and hit that thing with an arrow and you'll get seed number 10. Number 11 is located on the very top of Piper Ridge. You guys can see our exact location here at the top of the ridge. And once you're up here, you'll find a giant rock that's got a dandelion on the top. Just hit the dandelion with an arrow or climb up and hit it with your sword and catch it before it touches the ground. And once doing so, you'll get seed number 11. Number 12 is going to be found on the northeastern side of the Piper Ridge. You want to go just to the other side on ground level. And once you make it over here, if you turn back toward the ridge, you'll see against it is going to be a small little opening you can walk into with a piece of wood on the ceiling. All we need to do is ascend through that piece of wood until we get up on top of the rocks. And once you're up here, the Korok will spawn and you'll get seed number 12. Number 13 is found just north of Piper Ridge by the small pond. You guys will see on your map, there's a really tiny pond up here. If you come over here, there'll be a giant rock in the middle and a little cluster of leaves that's traveling around that rock. So find those leaves. Once you interact with them, you'll get seed number 13. Seeds 14 and 15 are going to be found together right on the top of Nero Hill. If you work your way all the way up to the top of this mountain, you'll find our little Korok buddy hanging out on the rocks. And once you interact with him, you'll see that we need to take him down to the mountain across from us. Now you can drop him off the edge and then pick him up and carry him up that mountain. But as always, I think it's easier to just take an airplane to save yourself a little bit of time. So we can go ahead and take off, and then you really just need to nosedive into the side of this mountain, take them off, drop them off, and interact, and we'll get our next 2 seeds. Number 16 is located on the western side of Nero Hill, and if you come to this exact location, you'll see in the side of the hill here is going to be a little opening that you can run inside of with another piece of wood on the ceiling. Once again, just ascend through that piece of wood, and once you make it up to the top of the hill, our Korok will appear and we'll get seed number 16. Number 17 is located just southeast of Strock Lake. You'll see on your map we have a pretty big cluster of trees. If you work your way over by these trees and then go to the edge where the canyon is and jump off, right here below you is going to be a small rock against the mountain. Go ahead and pick up that small rock and you'll get seed number 17. Number 18 is going to be found on the northern side of the Kalami Bridge. You guys can see its location here. And once you make it over here, all you need to do is look under the bridge. You're going to see an acorn hanging. Just hit that thing with an arrow. And once you do, you'll get seed number 18. Number 19 is going to be found on the northern side of the Strock Lake, right where the water ends. If you go up on the mountainside and then jump down towards the water, you'll see that one of these ledges is going to have a bunch of small rocks as well as a cork. Now you can take all the small rocks that are up here and attach it to the cork and then drop it off the side. But it's a little bit quicker and easier to just spawn a rocket and attach it and let it take off. And once you do, the Korok will appear and you'll get seed number 19. Number 20 is going to be found on the island that's right in the middle of Strock Lake. It'll be pretty hard to miss as you have a pretty massive island here. Once you work your way all the way to the top, you'll find a small rock that you can pick up. And once you do, you'll get seed number 20. Number 21 is going to be found on the far western side of Strock Lake. You can see the small peninsula here. Once you work your way out onto the peninsula, you'll find a puzzle towards the end, and it's a pretty easy one. We're just going to hold this thing up and rotate it to where we have one block sticking out on the top and the bottom, and the middle one's pushed in. And once you get it like that, you can fit it into place right in the front. The Korok will appear, and you'll get seed number 21. For number 22, you'll want to head over to the very top of Kuho Mountain. We're going to be on the southeastern side on this peak here. And once you make it up here, you'll find a piece of wood on the top of the rock. Just step on that wood. It'll spawn a target right here in front of you. Land on it without touching the ground, and you'll get seed number 22. Number 23 is going to be found just south of Rito Village along the main path. You guys can see a little cluster of trees here. There's going to be some ruins and a flower on the top. We're just going to play a little game of follow the flower, and it's going to work its way all the way around the ruins. So we can climb up on this one, grab the couple that spawn up here, and then we'll jump down onto this one, grab a couple flowers here, over here to this, and then we'll go over to this last fallen ruin. We're going to have a flower up top, one on the side, and then your final flower is going to spawn at the end. And once you get them all, you'll get seed number 23. 24 is also going to be found on the southern side of the Rito Village, except for this one, you want to get right up on the edge. And once you make it to the cliff and you're looking toward the village, you're going to see this stone pillar in the middle of the water. We're just going to fly on over to it. We're going to pick up the small rock that's on top. And once you do, you'll get seed number 24. Number 25 is going to be on the southeastern side of the Rito Village. On your map, there'll be a little open space here on the main island. And once you get over here, you'll find a pinwheel at the edge. That's going to spawn a one balloon. All you have to do is hit one balloon with the arrow. And once you do, the Korok will pop up and you'll get seed number 25. Number 26 is located on the western side of the Rito Village, literally right next to where the shrine is. If you work your way over to that shrine, you'll see right next to it in the side of the mountain is a little hole with a small rock inside. Go ahead and pick up that small rock and you'll get seed number 26. For number 27, you want to climb all the way to the top of the Rito Village as we're going to go out on the little ledge that sticks out over the water. And once you make it up here, you'll see that we have a small rock all the way at the end. Go ahead and pick that thing up and you'll get seed number 27. 28 is going to be found on top of the giant structure on the western side of Lake Totori. You guys can see our exact location here. And once you make it up top inside, there's going to be a broken roof covering statues. We're going to pick up the piece here, and all you need to do is rotate it so that the straight side is on the right side. And once you've got it like this, all you need to do is wiggle this thing until it falls into place. And once it does, you'll get seed number 28. Number 29 is going to be just west of Rito Village along the main path over here. If you head to this location, we're going to jump off the ledge towards the water, and you'll see down here we're going to have a puzzle. This one's super easy to solve. You just want to rotate this thing to where it looks like the shape of an L, and then once it looks like an L, rotate it up twice, and then you'll be able to squeeze it in to complete the puzzle, get the Korok to appear, and get seed number 29. Number 30 is going to be northwest of Rito Village, and along this path, you're going to see on your map there's going to be a giant tree compared to all the small ones around. If you come over to that giant tree on your map, we're just going to climb up to the top of this thing. And once we make it up to the top, you're going to have a rock to pick up. Pick up that rock and you'll get seed number 30. Number 31 is going to be on the mountainside along the main path just northwest of Rito Village. And if you come to this exact location, you're going to find a little snow path that leads up the mountain next to a cave entrance. At the top of that snow path is another small rock you can pick up, and that'll give you seed number 31. Number 32 is going to be found on the mountainside that's just south of Lake Kilsey. Here is the exact location on your screen. And once you make it over here, we're going to have another puzzle to solve. This one's pretty simple. We're just going to need to set it up to where there's 1 block on the top and 3 on the bottom. And once you get it like that, you'll be able to just fit it right here into the pyramid. The Korok will pop up and you'll get seed number 32. Number 33 is going to be found on the mountain that's just south of Lake Kilsey. You guys can see our exact location here. And once you make it over here, you're going to find a little hole in the mountain with some statues and a flower in the middle. Walk over that flower, and we're just going to play a game of follow the flower around the statues. They're just going to keep spawning behind each individual statue in here. And eventually, once you collect them all, you'll find the white flower. Korok will pop up, and you'll get seed number 33. Number 34 is going to be just east of the Dragon Bone Mire. We're going to be on ground level, and right in between these two mountains is going to be a small little tunnel that you can run inside of. If you look up, you'll see the piece of wood on the ceiling. All we need to do is ascend through that piece of wood. When you make it to the top, the Korok will pop up and you'll get seed number 34. Number 35 is going to be at the giant tree that's just north of Passer Hill. You guys can see the giant tree right here on your map. And once you make it over here, all we need to do is climb up to the top of this tree. So we'll go ahead and climb our way up. And once you're up here, you'll see the small rock out on the branch. Go ahead and pick that rock up. The Korok will appear and you'll get seed number 35. Number 36 is going to be found on top of Passer Hill. You guys will actually be able to see on your map, it's really small. There's a small dotted circle. That's going to be a little circle of rocks, and one's missing, and it'll be found on the big rock behind it. So just climb up top here. You can use Ultra Hand to pick up the rock, and then you can just drop it down here and put it into place. We just need to complete the circle. And once you align it correctly, the Korok will then pop up and you'll get seed number 36. For number 37, you want to head to the far western side of the map right next to the Dragon Bone Mire. If you head to the southern side of the mire, it'll be pretty hard to miss. There's going to be a small rock right here in the middle. All we need to do is pick that thing up and we'll get seed number 37. Number 38 is going to be found on the northwestern side of the Dragon Bone Mire. If you come right over here to the very end, you guys are going to find a flower under one of the big bones. Once you walk over that flower, the next one's going to spawn above you, and you just need to climb your way up on top of this bone, as you'll have a couple more that spawn. Next one is all the way up on the top here, and your final flower is right here on the side. And once you get all of them, you'll get seed number 38. Number 39 is going to be found on the far western side of the map, just northwest of the Dragon Bone Mire. If you come to this exact location and you're facing out toward the edge of the map, you want to climb up on the rock on the left side. There's going to be arrows on every other rock pointing to this one, but once you get up there, just climb to the top. The cluster of leaves will spawn, and you'll be able to get seed number 39. Number 40 is going to be found on top of the hill on the southern side of Lake Kilsey. You can see our location here. And once you make it up here, we're going to need to build a roof. So we're going to have 3 pieces of wood over here that we're going to need to use to cover 3 statues. We want to attach all 3 of these together, and you want this to be as lined up as possible. So try to take your time with it so that it looks like an actual roof. And then once you have them all together, bring them right over here to the side. And your goal is to cover all 3 statues. So initially, the first time I didn't have all 3 completely covered, but once you line it up correctly and drop it, it'll cue the cutscene of the Korok spawning, and you'll get seed number 40. Numbers 41 and 42 are going to be found together on the southern side of Lake Kelsey. This will be down by the water, and our Korok buddy is going to be sitting on a rock down here by the dock. Once you speak with him, you'll see that we just need to take him a little bit further down the water. A boat can work perfectly fine here if you want to make yourself a boat, or you can go into your inventory and spawn some stuff to make an airplane. I make an airplane pretty much every time. Just be careful about landing over here, as we are on kind of a little rock island, so it's easy to fly over or under. But once you get them off, drop them and interact, and you'll get your next 2 seeds. Number 43 is going to be found pretty close to the middle of Lake Kelsey. You want to go up on the hill that's right here next to all the docks. And once you make it up on this hill, it'll be pretty hard to miss. There's a giant circle of rocks. Our first rock that we need is going to be over here on the right side in the back corner. Go ahead and grab that and drop it into place. And your second rock is going to be on the left side in this back corner. So we can come right back over here and grab this one. And these are going to be the only 2 that we need. So we can go ahead and drop the second one into place. And once you get it perfectly lined up, the Korok will pop up and you'll get seed number 43. Number 44 is going to be on the far northeastern side of Lake Kelsey, and what you want to do is make your way up on the mountainside here, and once you get to the very top, come over to the ledge, and when you jump off, you're going to see a giant piece of ice hanging out on this little ledge down here. We just need to melt this thing, so we can hit it with 3 fire fruit to knock it all the way down. So we'll go ahead and do that, and once this thing is completely melted, it's going to have a small little rock inside. Go ahead and pick that up, and we'll get seed number 44. Number 45 is going to be on the northeastern side of Lake Kelsey. You guys can see the mountain here. You want to climb up where all these trees are. And once you're up here, if you look north, you'll see you can actually jump across the opening and land on this ledge over here where there's a small rock at the end. Go ahead and pick that thing up and you'll get seed number 45. Number 46 is going to be found on the mountaintop just northwest of the Rossboro Pass. You guys can see we're literally at the peak here. And once you make it up top, there's going to be a small rock that's surrounded by thorns. So all we need to do is burn these thorns. I think the easiest way is just to use fire fruit. So toss some fire fruit on there. As soon as it's gone, you can pick up the rock and get seed number 46. Number 47 is going to be found at the end of the path over by Dronix Pass. You guys can see we're going to be on the little cliff that overlooks the end of the path here. And from the top, you can jump down onto this roof. And you'll see a yellow flower up here. We're going to play a game of follow the flower around this rooftop. So we'll grab a couple more, climb up to the very top, and the final flower will spawn on the very tip top. And once you grab it, you'll get seed number 47. Number 48 is going to be found over by the Hebra Trailhead Lodge that's just south of the Rossboro Pass. You guys will see there's a small little building out here, and all we need to do is climb up on the rooftop. So we'll come over here to the side, climb up to the roof, and if you get up on the chimney, the little cluster of leaves will spawn. Interact with those and we'll get seed number 48. Number 49 is going to be found just north of Lake Tatori. You guys can see we're going to be on the mountainside here. And if you come to this exact location, you'll see that we have a wooden tree stump on the rock right here above us. If you're traveling up the path, all we need to do is ascend through that piece of wood and we make it on top of the rock, we'll get seed number 49. For number 50, you want to head to the very top of Corvish Peak. You guys can see we're going to be at the very top here. And once you make it up here, you'll find a little piece of wood on the ground that we can walk over. And all we need to do is fly toward that yellow circle. It's a pretty good distance, but you should make it over there in time. Just fly across to the snow and then you can run your way up the mountain. We'll just head over here toward the yellow circle. And once you get to the top and walk through it, the Korok will pop up and you'll get seed number 50. For number 51, you want to head just northeast of Corvish Peak. You guys can see we're going to be on a little ledge on the side of the mountain here by these trees. And once you get over here, you'll find a little circle of rocks. The rock that we need is going to be down on the edge of the mountain here, right behind this big rock. Go ahead and pick that sucker up, bring it back up and drop it in the right place right here in the circle. And once you get this thing lined up, the Korok will appear and you'll get seed number 51. For number 52, you want to head to the far northern side of the Hebra Plunge. And you guys will see we have a small little dock down here. Once you make it over here, there's going to be a puzzle to solve. This one's super easy. You don't even need to rotate the piece. Just grab it, throw it in the corner here. And once you do, the Korok will pop up and you'll get seed number 52. Our 53rd and final seed in this region is going to be found right in the middle of the Hebra Plunge. The easiest way to get this is to go over here to the west or eastern side up on the mountain, and then you can jump off and fly towards it as we need to land on this little pillar in the middle, and there'll be a small rock up there that we can pick up. Once you pick it up, you'll get seed number 53. But this is how to find all 53 Korok seeds here in the Tabantha Frontier. If you guys have any other questions, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.